Hello, happy Monday. Welcome to TV Guide Live. I'm Mickey O'Connor, and with me today I have my colleagues Liz Raftery and Liam Matthews. How are you doing, guys?
Good.
Thanks for being here. Today we're going to talk about last night's premiere of The Night Of on HBO, tonight's episode of The Bachelorette, the upcoming premiere of Mr. Robot's second season, and Showtime's political documentary series called The Circus. In the meantime, though, if you have any questions about anything on TV, please send them to @TVGuide on Twitter with the hashtag TVGLive or on Facebook in the comments below. We've got a lot to talk about today, so let's get to it. First of all, let's talk about this show, The Night Of. HBO's sort of under the radar, I would say, new crime drama, starring John Turturro and kind of a newcomer, Riz Ahmed. He was in the movie Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of it?
I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've watched a lot of it, right?
Yeah,
Liz? You've watched like the whole thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
HBO, well, I haven't seen the finale because HBO didn't
Right.
send the finale.
I've only seen the first episode.
Yeah, it gets really good. I was totally hooked from episode 1, and it just kind of ramps up from there.
So basically, without spoiling too much, it's about a kid who is implicated in a crime, and you're left asking whether or not he did it.
Yeah.
It's very similar in theme and tone to something like How to Get Away. Making a Murderer.
Yeah.
And
but also he doesn't really know if he did it
right,
or not,
right.
which is kind of the interesting
There's
twist. He like wakes up in this
a
girl's
blackout.
apartment
He
and
comes out of a blackout.
yeah, and she's dead, and he doesn't know what happened.
And I think the whole thing is really fascinating. It's sort of shot really interestingly. We were talking about this earlier, how it's like you notice all the people he comes in contact with over the course of the night. You notice like what he touches, and and it's all because it's a criminal investigation, and so you know that all those things are going to come into play.
Yeah. The thing that I was kind of left with is that there were a lot of elements of the first episode that felt kind of off to me, and I don't know if they're supposed to be, if you're supposed to feel a little weird about them, or if I'm just like in armchair detective mode, or
Right.
if it's just that I haven't like suspended my disbelief enough. But like the way that the lead detective treats him, I was like, that seems a little odd. And like the fact that he got brought back to the crime scene under these kind of convenient circumstances, it's...
I think that there's this sort of undercurrent of like justice maybe not doing its job correctly,
totally.
and also like there are all these sort of racial issues because the kid is Pakistani.
Yeah.
What do you think? Like, one of the things that I read online, which I thought was kind of funny, is that people were saying, is this secretly the third season of True Detective? And they pointed to like the overhead highway shot in the opening credits and all that stuff. What do you think?
I think not really.
Right.
But
Right.
but I mean, since True Detective season 2 was so poorly received,
Yeah.
and this one is being so well received, it
Right.
could be a replacement in HBO's lineup
Right.
for True Detective.
Right. It's similar
Sure.
in tone and thematically.
Yeah, I mean, it's much more realistic
Yeah.
and grounded than True Detective.
So speaking of realistic and grounded, let's talk about The Bachelorette. So the big question right now is who's going to be eliminated.
Mhm.
You're our expert.
Always.
You're our expert. Who's it going to be this week?
Well, this week it's going from 6 to 4. We're going to have our final 4.
Yeah.
And I think my picks for who gets eliminated tonight are Alex and James Taylor.
All right. So Alex is the one that I hated from the Argentina episode
Yes.
because he was the one that was giving our buddy Wells
Yeah.
such a hard time about not kissing JoJo, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And who's the other guy?
James Taylor, he is a singer-songwriter
Right.
named James Taylor.
Right.
Oh,
and
wow.
he's super neurotic, right?
He's kind of like he doesn't think he's as good looking, or
Yeah.
like he's like, I'm not as good looking and not as, I don't have as much money or whatever, but I'm still
But
the right
that's
guy
what
for
this
her
show
'cause I
does to
love her.
people, right? Like,
Oh, it's terrible.
They all look like supermodels, and
Yeah.
like this guy who's like normal looking is like, I'm
No, that's the
ugly.
thing. Like, a big part of the reason why Alex and James are going to get eliminated, Alex is short,
Yeah.
and James doesn't have
He's not good looking
six-pack abs.
Right.
Yeah. The other
Right.
guys are all, like, ripped. It's disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a real slice of reality.
Totally.
So then the remaining 4 are going to get hometown dates, which is always kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So who do you think JoJo's going to pick at the end of the day?
I still think it's going to be Jordan Rogers.
Right, the celebrity.
The
quote-unquote
celebrity, yeah. So, like, when he gets his hometown date, it's going to be interesting because...
Is Olivia Munn going to be there?
No, she's not going to be there.
Who is
Aaron
he?
Rodgers is not going to be there.
Oh,
his
his
brother
brother,
is
okay.
Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers.
Okay.
Who's dating Olivia Munn.
Yeah,
Oh.
but they're not close. He and Aaron are not close.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Yeah.
So maybe his parents will be there,
Yeah.
and I'm sure they'll talk about
Right. Olivia Munn.
Olivia Munn.
So you think it's going to be? You think they're going to go for the celebrity?
Totally.
So who do you think would make a good bachelor for next
I
season?
think Luke would be is the best of
Luke
the
is the one
remaining.
that she likes kissing. I said
Yeah.
that earlier, and you said she likes kissing all of them.
Of the remaining contenders, Luke would be the best choice for the Bachelor
Yeah.
because
Why?
he's not like kind of repellent the way some of the other ones are. Well, so there's a guy named Chase. None of them are repellent.
Right.
That was.
What about Chad?
Overstating.
He's gone.
Chad's
That was
gone.
I know.
Truthful.
But Chase is boring. Robbie, we don't know anything about him.
Right. Except he's got the
Yeah, he's got the hair. He's like a country boy, ex-Marine with
Right.
chiseled abs. He's perfect.
Okay, so let's move on and talk about Mr. Robot. So the new season is premiering. USA did something that was a very Mr. Robot thing to do. I think you
Yeah,
called it.
totally.
What did they do?
Last night they put up the premiere on a few different places like Facebook, BuzzFeed's Snapchat channel, Snapchat Discover, and just so you could watch it.
Right.
It was streaming, but just for the length of time that it was on. It was like a self-destructing sort of premiere.
I wonder how many people actually watched it.
I
and
wonder,
caught it
yeah.
during that time. So I've only seen a little bit of the first episode. You guys have watched it.
Mm-hmm.
So how can we tease this first episode without spoiling it for the fans?
Well, it's kind of broader in scope than the first season. The first season was pretty much confined to Elliot's point of view.
Right.
And it still is, obviously, mostly Elliot's point of view, but it's starting to, we're starting to spend or see things a little more from Angela's perspective, his friend, and
Who's joined Evil Corp?
she's now a publicist at Evil Corp, and Darlene, his sister, who's like sort of leading F Society in his absence. Well, yeah, because he's
Significantly, we say absence.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that I thought was fascinating is at the end of last season, Sam Esmail, the creator of the show, said, Mr. Robot isn't the only thing that's imaginary. And so I think that when you're watching this new season, especially the trailer for the new season, I think you have a lot of questions about specifically Tyrell. There's this whole thing where there's this missing time where Elliot doesn't know what happened, and Tyrell is kind of missing. What do you think we're gonna find out? Like, what else is imaginary about this season?
Oh, what else is imaginary?
Yeah.
I don't know.
What else is happening in Elliot's head?
Well, he is addressing
An imaginary friend.
an imaginary friend who is not Mr. Robot. It's a
Right.
different imaginary
Right.
person.
It's funny that when I watched the first season, I always took that imaginary friend to be like the audience, like it was
Yeah.
like us. But like they make it a little more explicit in season
Yeah,
two.
totally.
But it's not.
It's not.
yeah.
It's somebody else. And I don't know. Maybe the character played by Joey Badass. I don't remember the character's name, but his friend. His friend who
Yeah.
who he's spending his days
Right,
with.
he has breakfast with. He's obsessed
Yeah.
with Seinfeld. Yeah.
Yeah.
No more spoilers. Okay. So I can't wait to see it. It premieres, I think, this week. Is it Thursday?
Yeah, Wednesday.
Yeah,
Wednesday.
The 13th.
On USA. So let's move on to the next show. This is Lizz's The Territory. This is The Circus
Yep.
on Showtime.
The
So tell us
Circus.
what that's all about. I know that it's already been on, but
Yeah, so I think it premiered back in January,
Right.
kind of like as the primary season was ramping up, and they aired 13 episodes, and then it went off the air, and now it's back. It premiered again last night, and now they're focusing on the general election, and it's this political series featuring John Heilemann and Mark Halperin, who are two political journalists who have collaborated on a couple of books.
right, they wrote Game Change, right?
Yeah, they wrote Game Change, which became the HBO movie about the 2008 election. They also wrote a book called Double Down about the 2012 election,
Right.
and they're working with Mark McKinnon, who's a political advisor, who's worked for like George W. Bush. as sort of this trio who analyze the goings on in the election season.
And one of the things you told me, it's like it's a documentary series. They're following all the campaigns. One of the things that you said in an article that you wrote about about sort of the first iteration of it was that like it really sort of humanized these candidates that we didn't know about, like John Kasich.
John Kasich has like the worst like dad joke sense of humor ever, and it's like, you know, all the journalists kind of like roll their eyes when he gears up to give this one-liner and everything. So that part of it was really interesting because they were following all the Republican candidates and all the Democratic candidates.
Right.
Now, obviously, they're focusing on Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. And this.
Do you think they're going to be able to humanize those two?
I don't know. I mean, it was interesting.
They got their work cut out for them.
It was interesting because like the last night's episode was really sort of focused heavily on like the Dallas police shooting and the 2 shootings that preceded that, and kind of like. It was almost like a news program about how the 2 candidates responded to that. So I don't know if that's going to be their focus going forward, or if it was just the...
You mean they changed the format of the show?
It's not necessarily the format, but, you know, previously they had like 10 people that they had to follow around. Now they only have 2, and we had these huge news events last week.
So it's very current, too. I didn't realize that it was...
Oh, yeah. They put the episodes in the can like probably 24 to 48 hours before they air.
Wow,
So
that was pretty amazing, actually.
Yeah.
So... I think actually that is all we have time for today.
Okay.
Thank you guys for being here. That's it for TV Guide Live. Thanks for joining us. Thanks Liz and Liam for being here. We're on every weekday at 2 p.m. Eastern. And don't forget to send your questions to us at TV Guide on Twitter, #TVG Live, or on Facebook.com/TV Guide. Have a great day. Thanks.